G'day guys, Greg Rowley here again. Today I'm going to teach you about one of the Neville Goddard teachings called the law of assumption. And many people will actually get this misinterpreted. So we're going to go through very quickly how you can actually manifest the life that you desire, based on one of his principles, which is, one of the main principles of what he taught, which was, if you read The Feeling is a Secret, you'll find it in there. So basically the law of assumption is on the basis that you have the life already in your life. You basically have to ignore current reality, that you assume and you expect that your life is exactly the way you want it to be. So either with the career you want, with the finances you want, with the job you want, with the relationship you want, with the lifestyle you want. Okay. And so you have to ignore current reality. And that's the problem is a lot of people, as I said in previous videos, are trying to get from I'm not, I don't, I can't, I haven't to a place over here, which if I get here, I'll be happy to try to create from a negative to there, right? And the law of assumption doesn't work that way. The law of assumption works that you have to believe that it's happening right now as if it is reality and ignore current reality, which some people don't understand or don't get because they think, or they've been taught by the manifesting things is that you have to attract it or you have to, bring it into your life. And the Neville Goddard stuff teaches it completely different, is that you are already it and you're already abundant. You are already in that relationship. You're already in that place of freedom. And, and so that's what happens with a lot of people is they think that they have to get somewhere. Whereas the other way, which that law teaches you, is that you have to assume and expect that identity. And where it goes wrong for a lot of people as well too, they're trying to attract or create external stuff. So money, which is most people, followers, or success, something that's external, which if I speak to anybody who I do this stuff with, is it has to come from inside you. That assumption has to be something that's deep within inside you. That's a passion. That is something that is part of who you are as a being, not just, I want to get $1 million or I want to have this career because it makes me feel better because I'm trying to fill a void. Manifesting will never, ever, and never has worked that way if you're trying to get away from a negative. So the law of assumption on two bases is you have it now, but it has to come from a place of integrity. It has to come from inside you. It has to be something that you desire. So, for example, if you want to be in a relationship, it's not being in a relationship because I don't feel loved. It's not being in a relationship because I want to fill a void about my own self-worth. It will never ever work that way. And if you do know how manifestation works, you will know that if that's your identity, that's your belief, you'll attract somebody in your life that abuses that reflects that back to you, your self-worth issues or your self-love issues or your self-belief issues, right? That's all you're going to get. So when we work with the law of assumption, we have to make sure that we're assuming something that comes from somewhere internal inside of us. And that's really part of the key to it, is that most people trying to use the law of assumption by trying to get something to fix something. And that's never, ever going to work. So when we do peel it back and we go, okay, what kind of life do we want to live? What lifestyle do you want to have? How do we want to feel? How do we want to be? How do you want to contribute? What do you want to give? What do you want to share? All these things that are about much bigger aspects of who you are as a human being. And then that will get you in alignment with your vibration, your frequency, and a high meaning of life. And then you can use the law of assumption to manifest the life that you want to have. Because if it's in alignment with who you are, and you're looking for something that comes from an internal place, not an external place, this is where manifestation really does work, right? So you have to assume that identity. You have to assume that person. You can't walk around going, well, when this happens to me, I will become that person. Or when I lose weight, I'll be happier. Or when I get that job, I'll I'll feel better about my own self-worth, right? You have to assume it now. You have to be in that state as if it's already happened, but coming from a place that's in integrity and in flow with who you are, not from a place, as I've said, and I'll harp on about this, coming from the negative, coming from a place of scarcity, lack, and insecurity. Because all you're going to attract then is just the same stuff or people validating that internal state. So the part of the law of assumption is you have to get this internal state properly first. You have to transform that part into a place that you probably haven't been before. And so you just can't go and do the law of assumption, right? You have to transform who you are as a being. You have to become that version of yourself, right? You have to become more loving. So if you want to be in a relationship, you have to be more loving to yourself. You have to sit there and smile and, connect with yourself every day and walk around with joy and passion, even though right now your current reality may not be it, right? You have to ignore it, because if you don't, nothing will shift, nothing will move, and nothing will be created but what you've got right now. So the big part with the law of assumption, which is the part that many people don't get or aren't told by these manifestation coaches or reality coaches, is that there's work that goes into prior assuming the life that you want to have, which is you have to assume the identity of who you want to be emotionally, frequency, and vibration. And when you do that, then by using the law of assumption that that's already happened, magic happens. Stuff starts coming into your life, which is miracles or whatever. But it's those leading events, right? You have to take action on those leading events that help you get to that point, right? Because once your vibration changes, then the law of assumption, and if you're working that way, it has to deliver it to you. So please understand, when you're working with some of these principles in the universe, there are aspects of it that maybe some people aren't telling you, and they're just going, just assume it's happened. Just believe that it's happened. And it's like, yeah, but many people don't honestly believe it's happened. You have to 100% embody that version of you, which means you have to transform who you think you are at the core. You have to transform those stories of self-worth issues, self-belief issues, inadequacy, scarcity, all the stuff that you're running away from. You have to do that as part of this process. So, it is important that you use it, but there's a combination in the way you have to use the law of assumption, which is assume it's happened, but transform yourself. And if you want help with that, I have many, many ways to be able to help you through that. If you want to, reach out to me. I'll put my details down below. But the law of assumption is something that's very, very, very powerful if it's used the right way. Catch you later.